is starting over in room 101. Ellen Williams, whose story is it anyway, so if you'd like to go on over there. I think actually she'll be starting in about 5 minutes, so we do have some time to ask questions and stay here, of course, if you would like. All right, anybody have questions in the audience? There was a question before. I don't know if it still stands.
Oh yeah, that was me. Yeah, so I want to first thank you all for coming out and presenting. This is very educational. For the, I don't know, I want to use the appropriate language. Black Indians, is that how I should refer to you, sir?
Yes.
Yes. Does it feel like it's a double-edged sword that you fall on to a certain degree with regards to your African ancestry as well as the Native American ancestry? Because what I'm just hearing is how resilient a person has to be in order to just not just say F it to a certain degree, because there's not a place for you based on various different laws and various different ideologies. So how have both of you kind of been able to grapple with trying to identify what this true identity is for yourself over the years?
Realistically, for me, most people that come from where I'm from, we actually have a reunion every year in Telequah, a Lee Street reunion. The whole neighborhood comes back together. We're all over the U.S. and in a couple of countries, but everybody comes home. Most people that have moved out, they don't run around telling people they're Black Indians. Everybody's just like, well, you're Black. We're treated like we're Black because we look Black. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it's hard enough to be Black in America. When you start telling people you're Indian, like you're trying to be something else, it ain't good enough that you're Black. You know, but I've lived all over the country, and every place I've been, everybody's like, well, you don't act like other Black people. I act like me, I can't help it, you know. I'm a country dude, I'm always gonna be a country guy from a small town.
Okay. Well, in Oklahoma, now I grew up in Ponca City, which is about 100 miles away from the Cherokee Nation at the closest point. And there are a fair number of people who are freedmen, descendants from different tribes. Again, we didn't know that they were freedmen. Also, some persons of African ancestry who are members by blood of different tribes. But someone in Oklahoma, someone in eastern or northern Oklahoma that has African ancestry and saying they have Indian ancestry or the like, that's not considered strange or anything like that. Or being a member of a tribe. Now, I have been to other parts of the country sometimes where, say, I've spoken, and there's been some people there, why are you saying you're anything other than Black? Why can't you just be satisfied to be this Black person? You don't run into that much in, as I said, northern or southern or eastern Oklahoma because other people's backgrounds. And so, I really haven't, growing up or as an adult, you know, saying that I have African Indian ancestry, or even fighting for rights, for legal rights. There has not been a big pushback, you know, as I said, from the people in Oklahoma. So I haven't. Again, if I were living in some other state, where people really didn't have tribal backgrounds as much, Black people, I think there would have been more pushback. Now, what are you trying to do? What's this about? But I haven't really, when I was 5 years old, and I went to you know, of course I was born after the Brown decision, and I went to a kindergarten where, and I was the only person of African descent in the room, and I remember, I didn't know he was white, but he asking me, what kind of an Indian are you? I know you can't be colored. Well, I didn't know anything about colored or any Indian or anything, but I asked my father, and he said, well, we have Cherokee blood, but he said we also have colored blood too. So that was good enough for a 5-year-old.
Well, and like I was saying, you know, we never felt like we were outside the tribe, but my cousin's grandmother was a famous medicine woman. I mean, people come from all over the world to see her when I was growing up in Tahlequah. And they lived in the country, so they usually come to my neighborhood, Lee Street, because, you know, even though his great-grandmother was a full-blood Cherokee, his grandmother's dad was black, so they, you know, so everybody just thought that all of us were just black and all of them were just black, but they would come as far away as Europe and Africa to meet with this woman, and this was before the internet. So it was, to us being like you're outside the tribe, it was really hilarious because it's like we never went anywhere, we're here, you know.
Thank you. Does anyone have another question? Anybody else? Okay, well, thank you all to our panelists.
Thank you.